Yeah.
too.
All right, now we're live. All right, everybody. I'm Kay Donaldson, the director of the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series. If you're just tuning in, I'd like to just go over everyone else who is on the screen with us tonight. You've got John Simpson. He is in the green shirt. If you don't know John, he is your tournament director for the Alabama Bass Trail 100 as well as the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series. And then also you have Luke Duncan. You may not be able to see him. He's in a little bit of camouflage tonight. So he is your MC for the 2024 season here on the Alabama Bass Trail 100, as well as the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series. And he will also be one of the on the water analysts that will be out on the water on Sunday. So before we get started, I want to go over just a few things for you guys who are new to the Alabama Bass Trail. Some of you are going to know some of these things that I'm going to talk about. But I want to go over a few housekeeping notes before we get started with the logistics of Logan Martin. So first of all, we cannot do events like this, especially pushing this event to Sunday, without the help of a great host city. And the city of Lincoln has been phenomenal to work with. Les Robinson and his group out at Lincoln Landing, you'll get to see that on Saturday and or Friday and Sunday, since Saturday is off limits. You'll be able to see those guys and how hard they work to get you in and out of the water, as well as our team on the Alabama Bass Trail to make this not so pleasant weather tournament as pleasant as it can possibly be. So we are going to work really hard to make this as pleasurable as it can be. And we don't like cold weather either. So just hang in there with us and we'll get you in and out of the water as safely as possible. But thank you, Les Robinson, the city of Lincoln, for everything that you have done to facilitate this event, as well as the postponement to Sunday. Also, Daniel Montgomery is watching the live. He is not able to be on here live with us tonight, but Daniel is your assistant tournament director, and he will be on site tomorrow. We'll be in town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you can't get John or I, please reach out to Daniel. He'll be happy to help you as well. Some of the housekeeping tips I just want to go over. The Alabama Bass Trail office is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. We ask that you keep your correspondence with us during that time. John and I both have families, and we have other obligations outside of the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series that we have to tend to. And we certainly do not want to be taking your phone calls at 9 p.m. at night or at 5:30 in the morning. And the reason I say that is because I get several of those at 5:30 in the morning. So please make sure that you keep your important correspondence. We do realize things come up and you do need to talk to us after hours. We just ask that you not make it a habit. Please respect our time with our families because we are away from them quite a bit. So please respect our time with our families. I will go ahead and say we did send your rules and your rules acknowledgments out about a month ago. Hopefully you have read through those. You certainly signed and acknowledged that you had read them. I encourage you to read through those rules. If you would read through those rules and read your pre-tournament emails, most of your questions should be answered. I'll be real honest with you. If you call me and it's a rule that's in the rules and you're asking me about it, I'm probably going to tell you to go read your rules. Absolutely no reason you should not have read those. They are on the website and you were sent a copy of those through DocuSign. Please make sure that you read your rules. Also, every Monday morning before a tournament, you're going to get a pre-tournament email. It's going to give you all the who, what, whens, and wheres. And even this week, you got 2 of them since we postponed the event. Those are very important to know what you need to bring, where you need to have it, and all the things. So please make sure that you're reading those. This was supposed to be an in-person meeting, unfortunately, due to weather, and we have a lot of our, I would say 20% of our field is from north of Birmingham, even north of the Tennessee state line. So a lot of those guys are still digging out, trying to get here. So that's why we went to a virtual meeting tonight. So this will be how you will do meetings from here on out. We will do meetings on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. They will be Facebook Live and on YouTube. So that's how you'll go about getting all the information that you need. I will go ahead and preface, if you'll go to alabamabastrail100.org, every bit of the information for the tournaments is on there. You will know what boat ramp it is. You'll have a location, everything you need to know, fish size limits, everything is on the website. You shouldn't have to wait on that email, but if you choose to do that, it will come in your inbox on Monday morning at 10 a.m. prior to your tournament. If you did not receive an email this week, you will need to contact me and let me know, because some of you partners, y'all don't necessarily enter things correctly, or you put your information in twice and your partner never gets the information. So if you did not receive an email, please send me an email at the email address I'm going to show in just a little bit. Also, your text message should have came in at 5 o'clock today to give your boat number, your flight number, and the time you will be due in on Sunday. If you did not receive that, again, we need to know that. There are 2 that rejected, and we'll try to get in touch with those people either through a phone call or through email to see if we can get a good cell phone number. So if you did not get your text message, we need to talk to you and get a good number that we can change your information in our system. Again, I'm not harping on whoever registered you. It is common for that person to either one, put in the wrong number, put in their number twice, or whatever. And we just can use the information we're given. So I will say that all of that needs to come through me. John can't handle that. Please make sure that you send all of your corrected information, whether it be your phone number, your cell phone number, your email, your address, anything like that needs to come to me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring Luke in here, and hopefully he'll be able to talk to you. As you know, the Alabama Bass Trail does 5 hours of live coverage out on the water at each tournament. We are live streamed on Facebook, on our website, and on YouTube. So, Luke, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that, what they can expect if you pull up on them on the water. What can they expect from you, Darian, and Jason?
Well, they can expect that we're going to all be cold together. We're in this together out there on the water. But guys, I just want to say, first of all, I'm really excited to be working with ABT and doing all the events this year. And the 100s, I've competed in them the last 2 years. And to me, it's one of the best trails in the country. It's so much fun. And it's a little bittersweet not getting to compete this year, but certainly looking forward to being out there doing the coverage and MCing. But basically, when we pull up on you, we're going to ask you your boat number. We're going to try to stay as far away from it as we can because we're all fishermen. We know we don't want to get too close and impact anything that you're doing. But we're certainly going to get close enough to talk and try to see how your day's going. But for me, it helps all of us. Tell us how many fish you got when we pull up. We ask you your boat number. We're there to try to tell the story for ABT Live. So tell us how your day's going. Break down what's going on for us. And like I said, if we need to be further back than we are, let us know. A lot of times when we pull in, guys will give us the skunk eye. We get it. Sometimes there's Slick's on here. Slick gave me the skunk eye at Wheeler like 2 or 3 different times last year during the regular ABT. But we're just trying to, like I said, tell the story, make sure that we stay as courteous to you guys as we can. But we certainly going to spend as much time with each and every one of you as we can down there on Sunday. But that's certainly, we're going to pull up and ask your boat number, and then we'll tell you when we go live, because we won't be live right when we pull up on you as well. But there'll be 3 of us out there, me, Jason, and Darian.
We have a new addition with Darian, Craig. Darian will be on site on Saturday. Darian will be doing all of the offstage interviews during the weigh-in. So if he pulls you to the side, please just give him as much information as you can about how you caught him that day, areas, different things like that. We're not there to show your honey hole. We're not there to give away information. We're there to produce live coverage for you to be able to represent your sponsors. A lot of the guys out here on the 100s have sponsors, and that's what we're here to do, and show the great state of Alabama and the great fishing that we have. Also, I want to remind you, there are about 30 teams that will have trackers on their boats. 10 of them will have cameras. I do want to remind you that disabling a camera, unhooking it, turning it off isn't grounds for immediate disqualification. Leaving it in your truck as you go fishing is grounds for immediate disqualification. I also want to remind you, once we power your tracker off, all of your lines, your waypoints, everything is gone away with. It's not something we can go back and look at. It's not something that we're even interested in. We are simply there so that we can find boats quickly on a big body of water. So that's why we use those. But once we turn your tracker off, and it should be on until we take possession of it. Once we turn it off, all of those lines and everything are gone. So don't worry about that. We're not coming back to say, oh, he caught him in this place. We're simply there to be able to get to boats the quickest that we can. If you are one of the boats that have been voluntold that you will have a camera on your boat, you should have received a text message from me today. And if you were voluntold that you are going to have a tracker, you should have received a text from me today. So for all of you who have never fished an Alabama Bass Trail tournament, I want to welcome you to the Alabama Bass Trail, but we do things a little different than what you'll see from a BFL, from a Bassmaster Open, a Bassmaster Elite Series event. We do things just a little different. We do have key fobs that are going to have your number on them, and I just happen to have my little handy dandy trusty little prop here. It is navy and white. It will always be navy and white. It will never be red and white or green and white. It will always be navy and white. And it actually has the Alabama Bass Trail 100 logo on it. It will have your boat number on the bottom. So when you come through boat check and you show your text message to Daniel, Daniel is going to say your boat number 15. And he's going to grab your key fob. He's going to show you boat number 15. He's going to make you verify that that's what it is. And then he's going to hand you your key fob. You will not be able to weigh in your bag on Sunday if you do not have this in your possession. This proved that you went through boat check, you did things the right way, we checked your live wells, we flagged your trolling motor, and you are set to go. When you come to the bump sink, you will turn this key fob in. They will key your boat number in. They will count your fish. They will say 5 fish, 5 alive, all spots, or 4 largemouth, 1 spot. That is for our records for the state of Alabama. If they happen to call you have 4 fish, 4 alive, and you think you have 5 fish, it is your responsibility to do that at the bump sink, to correct it there. Once you pass the bump sink, it is whatever Mark Brown calls. If he calls 4 fish, 4 alive, and you get to the stage and Luke brings you up and says you have a 4 fish bag, and you go, oh no, I had 5, it's too late. You catch that at the bump sink. So you need to be listening to what they call and make sure that you're accounted for all of your fish. But again, once you get your bag, you will need to get this, make sure you've got this key fob and that you turn it in when you get to the bump sink. I will remind you, you must use Alabama Bass Trail weigh-in bags. For this tournament, they are a TH Marine weigh-in bag with a mesh bag inside of them. Do not bring me a different bag. Do not bring a different bag to the scales. Mark Brown will not accept it. You must weigh in the Alabama Bass Trail bag. So please make sure that you do that. When we get to the presentation, you'll be able to see where the bag line is going to be. John will talk through that process. But there will be a bag line. We do have someone there manning it at all times so that we don't get too many bags out, so we don't have fish sitting in bags, sitting on hot concrete in the summertime. That's not going to be an issue this Sunday, but in the summertime, to make sure that we do not have fish sitting in bags. So we monitor that. We know what the count is. We know at the end of the day what the count needs to be before we can close the scales. Speaking of closing the scales, I do want to go over that. The last flight is due in at 4:15 on Sunday. The scales will close 30 minutes after that last flight is due in. So the scales will close at 4:45. All protest must be written and submitted by 5 p.m. That is the deadline. 15 minutes after after the scales close is your time frame that you can file a protest. Protest forms can be found with myself and John. You must write it, and it must be witnessed as well. And then we will observe and talk about the protest and decide what that will end up being. But again, the last flight is due in at 4:15. Scales will close at 4:45. And then all protests would be due in 15 minutes after the scales close. I do want to say, in the event that we are not able to get everyone weighed in time, there's been lots of times that that's happened because of Smith Lake and the flooding and things like that. John will announce or will have announced from the stage what time the scales will be closing in the event that you have a protest that you feel you need to use. As always in the Alabama Bass Trail, scales open 1 hour prior to the official first flight being due in. So this Sunday, 2:30 is the earliest that you can weigh in. And when I say that, 2:30 is the earliest you can come to the bump sink. We will not let you go through any earlier. We will not determine your fish live or dead until 2:30. So if you have fish that are struggling, the earliest that Mark Brown will weigh those or look at those fish will be 2:30. So that's always in the Alabama Bass Trail, 1 hour prior to the official weigh-in time. You can come in during that time. So just always remember that. As we get ready for blast off, I know John will probably hit on this when we get into the presentation. Boats 1 through 25 should be near the blast off boat. Everyone else needs to stay away and do not get in our way. It is a very fast process. 100 boats should be out in no less than 15 minutes and get you on your way. But if we have boat 67 clogged up there near the check, stay away from the blast off boat. Boats 1 through 25 get close to the blast off boat. We'll get you out of there. And as that happens, 26 through 50, that'll be your next flight. You guys start moving forward. But please, boat 100, don't get up there by the blast off boat at 7:29 and expect to be going, because you're not going to go. You're just going to be in the way. All right. Another thing by the blast off boat, do not get on plane before you pass the blast off boat. There is a lot of electronic equipment on there, as well as camera people, radios, audio, speakers, all kinds of things on that boat. Do not go by the blast off boat on plane. We're gonna give you a shot to not do that. If we see that it's going to be an issue, then we will either penalize you one way or the other, but do not come by the blast off boat on plane. That's just as easy as I can say it. Also, bonus programs, since we did not get to have a in-person meeting today, please make sure that you have let us know if you're part of the Yamaha Power Pay. Make sure if you're a Phoenix owner that you have registered with Phoenix First Flight, or you've let us know you've bought a Phoenix recently so that we can get you registered on our end of things. Also for the Phoenix Payday, the $2,500 bonus if you're the highest finisher. If you don't win, we need to know that. If you're an AmFirst credit union person, you need to go to amfirst.org/basscash, get registered. That's the only way that I can submit your name for payment there. So please make sure all your bonus programs are up to date. We will be paying several of those at the ramp, the Garmin bonus, also the TH Marine bonus, and the Phoenix bonus will pay at the ramp as long as it's not a Phoenix First Flight. They'll pay that through Phoenix. So please make sure that you've gotten registered and that you've let us know that so we can make a note on your angler profile. All right. We put this in our email, but I want to remind you, we will be salting and sanding 4 lanes of the boat ramp out here at Lincoln Landing. We will cone off the other lanes. It is very expensive material that we're using to sand and salt these ramps, so we cannot do all 10, but with 100 boats, we should only have to do 4. John and Daniel will have that done by 6 a.m. in the morning, and we will take care of that on Sunday as well. Our team is very good. I don't say that because, anything I have to do with it. John has assembled a very good team. Many of them have worked for the Alabama Bass Trail for a long time. They know what they're doing. Please just listen to them. They will get you in and out of the water just as quickly as possible. But please do not just go rogue on us. We know what we're doing. They know what they're doing. You have a text message. You need to have it ready. The person in the driver's side of the boat, driver's side of the truck needs to have that text message ready. Don't have it under your rain suit, in your pocket, in your dry box of your boat. Have it ready when you come through boat check. It's pretty simple, guys. Just have it, whoever's driving, make sure that they have that text message ready. Last thing about that I'm going to talk about before we get into the presentation and some of the rules, checks. We pay at the ramp. It's a pretty quick process unless something goes haywire, unless we have an extended long polygraph examination. All checks are paid at the boat ramp. If you need to leave, you're tired, you're cold, you want to go home, all checks are mailed on Monday. It is mailed to the address that you have on your W-9 form that you filled out in December. If you have a change of address, please make us aware of that. If we have to stop payment on one of your checks, that $25 stop payment fee comes out of your check. It's your responsibility to make sure that we're made aware of a change of address or anything like that. That's just part of it. If you're not going to wait around on your check, make sure that I've got your address. And they do go out on Monday morning by 10 a.m. So please make sure that you get us those change of addresses. We talked about the polygraph rule. I do want to say John and Daniel are your rules enforcers. So if you have a question about the rules, you need to contact them. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started in the presentation itself. Just a second. Sorry. There we go. All right, Mr. John, I'm going to go ahead and scroll through here and let everybody know this is our contact information. As you know, we are on site. All three of us are on site now. Here are our phone numbers and our email addresses if you were to need to get in touch with us immediately while we're on site. Again, thank you to the great people at the City of Lincoln and Les Robinson. This was taken last May at our Alabama Bass Trail regular series event, 225 boats. And you can see everybody's in the water ready for blast off. So great job by the Alabama Bass Trail team on that event. Kenny Curnow, he is our producer of our Alabama Bass Trail TV show that you see on Bally Sports Southeast, as well as WAFF Channel 48 out of Huntsville. If you would like to have a camera and you haven't been voluntold about a camera, then you would need to contact Mr. Kenny now that you have your boat number. You would only contact him once you have your boat number for a tournament. You would just simply text him and say, boat number 46 would like to have a camera, and he'll have that ready for you during boat check. All cameras and trackers are installed at boat check, and they are returned to the bump sink when you come off the water. So Kenny is our producer. He would be the one that you would need to contact in the event that you have a great practice or that you would like to be on live, or if you'd like to be on the TV show, he will make sure that you get a camera. All right, Mr. John, I will let you take it over.
All right. This first slide kind of goes over the pre-tournament text messages. As Kay covered earlier, you should have gotten your text message at 5 o'clock today. Moving forward, you will receive those messages on Thursday at 7 p.m. in the afternoon. If you did not get your text message today, please contact Kay or myself with the correct information. I'll give that. If you contact me, I will give that information to Kay, and she will update it in the system. Text message will contain the following information: that I have your name on it, your boat number, your flight number, and the time that your flight is due in the afternoon. Do not respond to the text messages that you receive. These come through a third party, and it just basically goes, all it tells us is, whether or not texts are rejected or not. If you respond to it, we do not see those responses. So if you have a comment or a question, please contact either Kay, Daniel, or myself. Again, our numbers are here at the bottom of this screen. So if you have any questions, like I say, do not respond to the text message. Contact us at the numbers listed here, and we will respond to you. All right, Kay.
There we go.
Just to reiterate what Kay had mentioned about the GPS trackers and the cameras, when you get the trackers in the morning, they are already powered up. Do not power them down, and make sure that they do remain in your boat. If you leave them in your truck, as Kay mentioned earlier, that is grounds for disqualification. The cameras, they will be installed by the media group. Whenever, if you are a camera boat, we will have an area set to the side after boat check we'll have you pull into that area, and that crew will install the camera on your boat. It will also be powered up, and you are not to turn that camera off until they take that camera off of your boat at the end of the tournament. All right, Kay. This weekend, boat check will begin at 5 a.m. since we have moved the takeoff to 7:30. If you're coming by water, we will have an on-water boat check. It'll be at the dock to the west of the boat ramp. We'll have red flashing lights on that dock. If you send me a text message or call me saying you're coming by water, we will have your key fob there. You will go to those flashing lights. The crew member there will check your live wells. He'll give you the ribbon to tie on your trolling motor, and he'll give you your key fob. Safety first. Anytime the big motor is running, you will have to have your PFD on, zipped up, buttoned up, and a PFD is required below the dam. Please follow all posted water control signs and buoys. If you receive a ticket during the tournament, it is an automatic disqualification. This weekend, blast off will be at 7:30. It says 7 o'clock here, but we have changed that due to the temperatures in the morning. And first flight will be due in at 3:30. That you should have received that time on your text message. The text messages were all correct, so just go by what your text message says as far as your due in time. This will be a trailered way in. Not all the docks are in water, so the only thing that's in the water right now are the little floating docks out at the end. So you can put your boat on the trailer and then come to get your bag and load your fish.
For those of you who haven't fished the Alabama Bass Trail before, your flagging tape on your trolling motor is for two reasons. One, for our camera crew to be able to spot you and know that you're an Alabama Bass Trail team, so that we just don't pull up on a random team and start talking to them. Second of all, if you have a confrontation with someone on the water, you can recognize that they'll have the same flagging tape on their trolling motor, and that would signify to you that that is an Alabama Bass Trail boat. So each tournament that changes, it will be a different color at every event. So you'll want to make sure that after that event, you take your flagging tape off of your trolling motor. But that is the reason that we do flag your trolling motor. It'll be roughly, 10 or 12 inches hanging off of your trolling motor. And that signifies to our camera people you're an Alabama Bass Trail person. And it also signifies to other teams fishing the tournament that you are an Alabama Bass Trail person. If you feel like that someone got too close to you, they ran by you, they were malicious in how they did that, then that would be grounds for you to protest them. So that is why we use the flagging tape on the trolling motors. I know Daniel chimed in a comment asking you to make sure that you have your live wells open. It will be a little difficult on Sunday morning. I know it's going to be cold, but please try to have your live wells open before you get to boat check. It'll make it a little bit easier and quicker for our guys when you're going through boat check. So I'll go to the next slide, Mr. John.
And one more thing I want to mention about the flagging. In addition to Luke and Darian and Jason, we also have a still photographer out there named Noah Dickinson. He will also be riding around looking for that flagging too. So if you see somebody pull up with a still photography camera, he works for us, and he will be taking pictures as well during tournament day. When you arrive at boat check on Sunday morning, the team member that is driving the vehicle will have to have the text message out showing the boat number. He will show that to the gentleman at boat check, and we will pull your key fob at that time and give it to you then. As Kay mentioned before, you will have to have that key fob whenever you weigh your fish. So you will bring that to the scales, and that will be collected at the bump sink, but you cannot weigh your fish without it. So hang on to your key fob. Make sure you have it whenever you come to the scales. Size limits for this tournament: largemouth 12 inches and spotted bass 12 inches as well. This is just a overview of the ramp area. Off limits for this tournament will be 100 yards on each side of the boat ramp. That's where we will be releasing fish. So if you're facing the ramp, 100 yards up, upstream, 100 yards downstream, that is the off limits. Water check-in, I'm showing here on this first little T-dock. That's where our red lights will be. That's where our gentleman will be, our crew member will be. If you are coming by water, he will be waiting there with your key fob, with the flag and tape. So you'll come by him and he'll get you squared away. The weigh-in trailer is the blue box right there. That's also where the weigh-in bags will be located. So when you put your boat on the trailer, or if you decide to tie up to a dock to weigh your fish, you will come to that location, get your weigh-in bag, go load your fish, and then come back to the bump line. Staging area is right in front of those little T-docks. The blast off boat will be the red dot right in front of the third T-dock there. If you'll stage on the upstream side, when we call your boat number, idle by us. And then if you're running downstream, you can continue downstream. If you are running upriver, you will come around the blast off boat. You'll go to the north bank and run up that north bank. But please come by us on, at idle speed. Do not be throwing a wake. Noah Dickinson, who I mentioned earlier, taking still frames, he will be right next to us in his boat. We'll be in the pontoon boat. We will have a lot of expensive camera equipment on both of those boats. So, we're concentrating on getting live shots and still frames. We're not really, we will be watching out for wakes, but, please help us out with that, because we, especially Noah being by himself, he's not going to be looking for wakes. I don't want him thrown in the water, by somebody throwing a big wake at him. Overflow parking, if it gets to that point, you see it in the back. Les and his crew will be running some golf carts if we get out that far, and they've always been real good about getting you back to your boat and ready to go as soon as they can.
We showed you a picture of the 225 boat field in this very same area earlier in this program. I just want to say, don't be that guy that goes over to the north bank and power poles down, because we're going to send people that way. If they're going to be running, the opposite direction, that's the way they're going to go. So don't be those guys power pole down over there. Please make sure that you stay in the staging area, so that if those guys want to make that turn and run the opposite direction, that they can do that without fear of hitting someone. Please make sure that your lights are on when you go by the blast off boat as well. It is going to be safe daylight. 7:30 is going to be more than safe daylight, but please have your lights on as you go by us, okay?
Another thing I'd like to touch on before we leave this slide, boat check will be over by the little house that you see in front of the ramp. I don't have it listed here, but that's where boat check will be. If you're coming in from the road, the boat check will be in that the little road to the right of the hut whenever you come in. Another thing that whoever's driving the truck on Sunday morning, when you pull up after the boat's in the water and you pull up the ramp, please pull up slowly. Don't come out real fast and throw a lot of water on the ramp with the trailer. That'll help us keep the ramp treated and keep everything safe. Let's just take it slow. I know it's going to be cold. We're going to do, my crew on the ramp is used to these kind of conditions. So please follow those directions, and we'll take everything slow and we'll get it done safely. Again, my name is John Simpson. I will be your tournament director for both the 100s and the tournament series. My number is 256-309-9852. In the event of emergency, please call 911 and make sure everything is, you've got first responders on the way before you call us. After everything is safe, call either myself or Daniel Montgomery. Daniel Montgomery's number is 256-284-9889. After weigh-in starts, Daniel and myself will both be on stage. At that time, if you have an emergency, please call Kay. Her number is 256-303-7905. If you are coming by water, and this will go for every tournament, even though this tournament is on Sunday, We are going to stay with the Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. If you're coming by water, I need to receive those text messages, emails, or calls before Friday at 5 p.m. After Friday at 5 p.m., we are starting to pull boat fob or key fobs to get those ready for our guy that's going to be on the dock if you are coming by water. After you get your boat number, which you got today, the text that you will send me or the email that you will send me will read just like the example here, boat number 1, coming by water. Please don't send me a text that just says coming by water with your phone number, because that makes it pretty hard for us. Just make sure that your boat number for this tournament is on there and just say coming by water. We'll take care of the rest, and we'll have you squared away at water check-in each morning if you decide to come by water. My email address is listed at the bottom of the screen. It's jon@alabamabasstrail.org. You can also email me if you are coming by water.
All right, John, before we wrap up and ask for questions, I do want to cover a few of the rules that's here. If you haven't fished with Alabama Bass Trail before, I want to remind you that Saturday is off limits. It is off limits on the lake, but it is off limits on information. So you cannot purchase, barter, or solicit information on Saturday, and you cannot be on the water. So I want to remind you that we don't normally have these kind of days. So I want to make sure that you understand that Saturday is off limits for information as well as being on the water. Also, safety first. Anytime the big motor is on, you must have your PFD fully fastened, zipped, button, whatever your PFD does, you must have it on. It must be a U.S. Coast Guard approved PFD. So please make sure that you have that on anytime that the big motor is on. Also, if you come through our boat check and you have a 300 engine on the back of your boat, we will check your rating plate to make sure that it does coincide with the boat that you're in. 300 horsepower engines are not barred from the Alabama Bass Trail, but we do make sure that you have a proper rating plate on your boat. So if you do come through with a 300 on your boat, just be expecting for our guys to check your rating plate. Also, want to make sure that everybody knows we do 5 fish limits. Make sure that your fish are, that you measure your fish. We do use the Phoenix measuring board, but it does coincide with the Golden Rule board. We measure our fish with the mouth closed, tail fanned, and swipe to achieve the greatest length. So please make sure that you don't weigh in or bring anything to the scale that is under 12 inches. Mark Brown is our bump sink guy. He's been our bump sink guy now. This is his 8th year. He is the official guy, and if he says it's short, it's short. So please make sure that you pay attention to that when you're on the water. All the other things, you must come by the official checkpoint in the afternoon, wherever John designates that. Typically, it is where the blast off boat is in the morning. So you need to make sure that you come by there, give them your boat number. If you are late, they will inform you that you are late at that time and what your penalty will be. Do want to remind you, it is 1 pound per minute up until 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, your entire catch is disqualified for that day. So please make sure that you're aware of what time you should check in. Also, make sure that you are on Alabama time. Everything that we talk about is on Alabama time, Central Standard Time, not Georgia time. Had a couple of Georgia guys reach out to me, tell me we were late on our live because they were going off Georgia time. So everything we do is on Alabama time. So please make sure that you come by the check-in boat. You cannot come to the bump sink if we do not have you checked in on the check-in area. We will call you to make sure that you are safe. One of our guys will reach out to you to make sure that you are safe and off the water. It's not about getting the key fob back. It was 77 cents. It's about making sure that you are off the water safely and that we do not need to send someone out to look for you. Everything else should be listed in your rules. Hopefully you have read them. If you have any questions about that, please make sure that you have read these. I do want to make sure that you have your valid Alabama fishing license. Normally we check that at the first event, but you need to make sure that you have a valid fishing license as well as a valid ID on you and a copy of your insurance. If you've not fished the Alabama Bass Trail before, I'll give you a little hint. Usually everywhere the Alabama Bass Trail shows up, so does Aaliyah. So usually the Marine Patrol is on the water when we are at an event. So you want to make sure that you have all of the necessary equipment on your boat. that you have your numbers on the side of your boat, that you have your insurance paperwork, as well as a valid fishing license and an ID as well. So that's a little free information there, but you can just about bet every time we're on the water, so are they. So let's see what the next screen is. If you have any questions, you can post those in the comments section. John and I will be reviewing that throughout the evening as well as into tomorrow. You have all of our numbers. I'm going to go back to that screen that gives you all of our contact information. You can make sure that you screenshot that, put those numbers in your phone. Should you need anything throughout the weekend, we're certainly here to help you. If you didn't receive your text message or your email address, please make sure that you email that to me at the address that you see there. All right. We are excited. Someone's going to take home over $25,000 on Saturday. We'll pay out over $100,000. 100 teams, over $100,000 payout. Somebody's going to go home a whole lot richer than I am come Sunday afternoon. So we're excited about that. I'm sorry that I don't have the trophies here to show you. Normally you get to see those. You get to see those awesome belts. We will have those out there Sunday for you to see. I hate that we could not do an in-person meeting, but with 20% of our field coming north of the Alabama line and having some terrible, terrible weather, Luke, is kind of snowed and iced in now, but we're hoping everyone makes it in safely. So if you have any questions, please continue to post those in our comment section, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. I'm going to stop sharing our screen now. But if you do have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. Our team is here to help you. We look forward to meeting you if you haven't fished with us before. And we look forward to having you on the Alabama Bass Trail 100. Luke, you've got anything else you want to say before we let these fine folks go?
No, I'm just looking forward to it, and it's about you guys. So let's have fun on stage. If you want to talk, we'll talk. If not, I know how bad days on the water. Just give me the look and go on. Keep moving. But it's going to be a really fun season, and I look forward to it. Buy a heated vest. I would tell you to do that too. Some hand warmers. Amazon may be sold out of the heated vest after this week, but I'm going to have mine on. That's for dang sure. And I'll see y'all Sunday.
John, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, just looking forward to the getting this season kicked off.
Guys, I want to say thank you for signing up for the Alabama Bass Trail 100. It's filled up in 11 days. That's the second quickest. First time we had the Alabama Bass Trail 100, it filled up in 39 hours. Thank you guys for showing your confidence in the Alabama Bass Trail. We look forward to serving you throughout this season, and we look forward to crowning a new Alabama Bass Trail 100 champion. But we can't do that without recognizing our Anglers of the Year from the 2022 season, Derek Hicks and Jonathan Collins. They took home those belts. They took home the TH Marine Prize package, the Atlas Awards Jack Plate. So congratulations to those guys. I know Derek is competing this year. I think Jonathan is not, but Derek will be back with us this year. But congratulations to those guys for representing the Alabama Bass Trail 100. And we look forward to crowning our next champion on Sunday here at Logan Martin Lake at beautiful Lincoln Landing. You guys have a great day, and tell all your friends and family to tune in live 7:30 Sunday morning on AlabamaBassTrail100.org or on YouTube. Y'all have a great night.